Hello everyone, welcome back to the second lesson of Elements of Writing. In the last class, we learned about the rhetorical mode of writing called narration. Today, we will learn about description. What is describing? What is description? Ability to describe things, people, or events is very important in communication. In life, there will be situations in which you are asked to describe an event or describe a person, etc. So, you can understand that at one point in your life or other, you will be asked to describe something in your life. For example, describe your campus, describe your home, describe your native place, like that. So the ability to describe, that is an important element in communication. Description is presenting information in a very attractive way so that it appeals to our senses, that is sight, sound, taste, smell and touch, and create an impression in the reader or listener. So that is in a way a definition of description. You might have heard people describing something in such a vivid manner that we almost feel that we have seen it. You might have heard somebody describing some sounds in such a clear manner that you almost feel that you heard it. There are situations in which some people describe the taste of something that your mouth is filled with water. Similarly, smell, touch. So all these instances show the power of description. Descriptive writing can be made interesting by presenting them in an attractive manner. There are two types of description. They are subjective description and objective description. Subjective description means description which involves personal observations. Then objective description, description without personal comments, which tries to picturize what is described. So there are two types: subjective, which involves very personal observations of the writer, while objective description is keeping a distance from what is described. So it is a factual kind of description, that is objective description. You can use subjective or objective description depending upon the purpose of your write-up. If you want to write something to inform the audience, if you want to give an idea of something to the audience, the style suitable is objective description. If you want to evoke the emotion of the reader, then subjective style of description will be suitable. Now, our real topic is academic writing. So, here we are going to get acquainted with the descriptive academic writing. Descriptive academic writing assignments are very common. It requires an objective writing style. Objectivity is essential, especially in topics related to science and social sciences. So when you are asked to write an academic assignment or essay which is in the descriptive manner, descriptive mode, then an objective style is preferred, especially when you are writing about science or social sciences. How this objectivity can be achieved? Objectivity can be achieved by using a direct factual language without any decoration, without any decorative language style, without any figurative language. Straightforward narration without making any judgments or personal comments. That is objective narration. So we are coming to the general features of descriptive writing. As we have already seen, descriptive writing involves subjective descriptive writing and objective descriptive writing. Then the effect created in the reader is the most important purpose of descriptive writing. See, what is the purpose of descriptive writing? The purpose is to create an effect or impact or impression in the mind of the reader. There should be a thesis statement to achieve this. Thesis statement we have discussed in the last class as well. It is the backbone of the essay. It tells what the essay is about. Then third factor, see, you can arrange facts in the order of most important to the least importance. So in a descriptive essay, you can describe about the most important factor at the beginning of the essay and the least important part towards the end of it. So from the order of importance is from the most important to the least important. Then fourth one, including elements to appeal to the senses of sight, sound, smell, taste and touch, which will create a mental picture in the mind of the reader. So if you describe elements, describe things in such a manner that it appeals to the five senses, then it will remain in the mind of the audience, reader. Then another guideline or another suggestion for good descriptive writing is using active verbs in the description. Using active verbs in the description will give a lasting impression in the mind of the reader. See this example. An active verb is a word that basically shows an action within a sentence. So if you use an active verb, there will be an action within the sentence. If there is an action within the sentence, it will be very easy for the reader to visualize it. See this sentence. He painted a house. He painted the house. The first one. Second one is the house was painted. The first sentence will create an impression while the second sentence will be passive. So that is why it is said that when you are writing a descriptive essay, it is advisable to use more active verbs. Then decorative or figurative language can be used only if you are asked to write in a subjective, personal manner. So we have already said that it is not advisable to use decorative or figurative language in a descriptive essay, especially when you are writing it in an objective manner. So you can use it in your writing only if you are writing in subjective descriptive essay. So some topics of descriptive essays, some examples are given in your textbook. For example, your campus. So writing about your campus will provide you an ample opportunity to describe a lot. Then your village, your town, your city, a lab experiment, appearance of a person, animal, object, etc. So in page number 45 of your textbook, you can see a list of topics. Some examples of descriptive writing are also given in page number 46 and 47 of the textbook. So read it and grasp and understand what are the features of descriptive writing. Now we are moving on to the next rhetorical mode called illustration. Illustration is yet another rhetorical mode used for explaining something with examples. Illustration means explaining something with examples. If you give proper examples of or illustrations, your arguments will be easily understood by the readers. Imagine you are writing about the pollution in your city. Your writing will be more effective if you use photographs to illustrate your point. Suppose you are learning about metaphor. The best way to learn about metaphor is to give some examples of metaphor rather than describing the concept. In scientific writing, graphs, charts, diagrams, etc. will give clarity to the point. Now coming to the guidelines for writing illustrative essays, or these are the features of illustrative essays. Now, when you write illustrative essays, you make a statement and give examples to each statement. So that is one of the important features that you should remember while writing illustrative essays. You are asked to write something about, you are asked to make a statement. Then you should give example to each statement so that that statement will be clear to the reader. Then use sufficient number of examples to explain the statement. So it will be good if you are able to come up with more examples. Then the most important example should be given first, then the next example. In the order of their importance, you should arrange it. Then use transition phrases like for example, for instance, to illustrate specifically, etc. So the reader will be able to place within their mind how the point is illustrated. So for example, when you say for example or for instance, a clear transition is demarcated. Then some sample topics are given in your textbook like this. Impact of social networking on college students. So when you are talking about it, you will be able to write examples or situations from life. Then how your dressing style improve your appearance. Then how does a poet employ poetic devices. Then now refer page number 49 of your textbook for various examples of illustrative writing. Then as an exercise, try to write a statement and explain with an example. So we are stopping here and we will continue with the next rhetorical mode. Thank you.